And we're off.
Oh, once again, we're out of Weetabix.
That is definitely a problem. Looks like Link's picking up a couple arrows. Uncle left behind.
And all three pendants in the light world. Okay. Desert is the green pendant.
Now, there are still ways to get into the Dark World and have full Dark World access without having to go through all three of these dungeons. This is a question more so than a statement.
It is possible. We did get the Cane of Brian to start on the off of Uncle, so that's the item they're gonna have to use to get through Escape. In order to get to the Dark World, you need to do one of two things. You need to You either need to beat Aga 1, which requires you to have at least a fighter sword, the lamp, and either the cape or the master sword. Dark World access without having to go through Aga 1 requires the Moon Pearl, at least a power glove, and then either hammer or up to Titan's mitts.
So it's entirely possible that even though all three pendants are rolled up on our Light World dungeons today, they will not all be required to get into the Dark World.
Yes, because the thing is that the pendant requirement is only for the item that's on the pedestal.
Well, hopefully it's something like, I don't know, let's say, the cape. Something that the runners are going to want. You know, I'm always rooting for a pedestal seed, so...
As is everyone in chat. Alright, so real quick, before I lose it, Old Man Sunshine donated 251 bits, so thank you very much for that donation. We did get a small key as the first item in the escape sequence. That small key had to be in one of the first 4 item locations in order to get through the door in the sewers, and we have powder in the boomerang chest.
Yeah, this is a little stingy on the items so far. Looks like I don't see any bombs at this point either, so it doesn't look like we'll be able to check the 3 chests that are inside the escape sequence further on the way.
And just a big 20 in Zelda's cell. Yeah, bomb drops are randomized between the guards, so at some point, I would imagine with the magic, there is magic in the back, behind the throne, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see some of these runners get some extra magic and then try to get a bomb from either the ropes or the keys. And then we had a question from Mr. Tanuki in chat. So, with all 3 Light World dungeons being pendants, doesn't that open up quite a few things that can be on pedestal? Yes. Eastern Palace, you just need the bow and the lamp. Desert Palace, you need either... Well, okay, let's get to Desert in a minute. Hera, you just need a sword or hammer, lamp and power glove or flute, and the mirror. And then Desert, there's a couple of different ways. It's either, for certain you need glove, fire source, and weapon to kill Lamulus. And then you either have the book, or you have mirror, Titan's mitts, and flute to go through the Dark World. So, that's a long way of saying, yes, that could mean that there's plenty of items that could be on the pedestal, but it all depends on what items the seed gives you in order to get into those pendant dungeons.
I feel like I'm back in like Algebra 2, trying to remember all of those equations for, you know, the hypotenuse is this of a triangle, sine, cosine, all that stuff. You're bringing back bad memories here.
Sorry. So... Oh, Alizum finally got a bomb off of a rat, but is out of magic. Now, there is a magic decanter to try to get the final boss of the sewers, which is the key rat. And there's more bombs on rats, so Alasin has 2 now. And he's the only one of our featured runners with bombs. Ooh! Artie Walsh just got one, and so did Gus. Oh, but Artie Walsh ran out of magic, and he felt like he had to start back, so now he's all the way back to the start. Alizin would see the 3 items. We got bombs, piece of heart, and the map.
Yeah, that burrito was about the most exciting thing out of that set of drops. Unfortunately, they've gone out of their way for not much.
We also saw Plasma Kappa decide to restart as well. So we know rats will drop bombs based on the prize packs.
Oh, a bottle in the sanctuary.
Very nice. All right, so Walsh has his bomb and has the key.
I think Plasma Kappa now is the last one looking for bomb. It looks like might even just decide against it and come back later.
Yep. Which will be fine for him because, again, we didn't find anything in there, so we should be good for now.
It's like rupees off of the tugging of
tree poles.
Yeah, I wanted to say something that was not entirely PG and stopped myself, but
good idea.
Yeah.
Lost Wood Shack has the hook shot.
Hello.
Arsosa 1007 also giving us 250 bits, hoping for a pedestal seed, so thank you very much. And at this point, the world is the runner's oyster.
Well, with a bottle, I would think they're going towards Sick Kid in the very near future to see what he has. It would not shock me if someone checked Lumberjack, and it looks like Plasma Kappa is on their way to do exactly that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anyone check Lumberjack up until now. So let's see, is this a Naga seed based on that? Nope,
no.
Just a little bit of love.
Oh, we have another bottle, a hammer, bombs, and it looked like bombos.
Yeah, it was bombos.
And a fire source as we pick up the lantern as well.
Very interesting. So now, all we need is a power glove, and that would give us access to Death Mountain and to Hera.
So now we know what needs to be on the pedestal then, the power glove. Or is that not a possibility? You would definitely...
you definitely need a power glove. There's the mirror.
Half magic. At the back of that little area there, we have a cape and a bloomerang.
Man, Kakariko has been loaded.
And we have a bomb upgrade at the bottle vendor. So out of all of those algebraic formulas, we have the hook shot, we have the hammer. Are we only missing either the flute or a glove of some kind to get rocks out of the way, or can we get to Hera at this point?
We need either the flute or a power glove to get to Hera. Desert, there still is other ways to, there still is all the ways to get through desert. Eastern, we still need the bow.
Okay, so right now we're still on the search for at least one more piece of the puzzle to start having a go at the dungeons then.
And with that early powder and hammer, we are seeing a 11-minute bat check. For just an arrow upgrade.
Unfortunate. With the way Kakariko was going, I was kind of going, all right, here's a sword or a fire rod or something like that.
All right. Now we got the south part of Kakariko, we've got the library, and we got the race game. Just a piece of heart, the library.
Well, Plasma Kappa is picking up everything in the basement, the bombos, fire source, and hammer, among other glorious prizes. Looks like Gus and Alazun are going to have a go at draining off the swamp. Gus, unfortunately, not able to make the I guess we would call that a minor glitch to be able to follow the block.
Yep. Basically what happens is when a block is pushed, it essentially is not, its hitbox is not there. So you can either hook shot across it, or you can use a mirror to basically, in a way, cancel it out.
Well, the full heart looked like it was pretty good, but the 20 rupees at the bottom of the lake were not so spectacular. And it looks like we're going to have a visit to the mini Moldorm cave.
Yep, we got a heart container, $5, heart piece, $300, and 5 arrow upgrade.
Well, at least now they have the 500 rupees to put into the Zora investment program.
Logically, they can't get to Zora right now. You could set up a fake flipper, but you need the Moon Pearl to be able to do a water walk out of the Waterfall of Wishing. So right now, you could fake flipper, probably check Hobo and Zora, but you wouldn't be able to check Waterfall of Wishing.
Yeah, I guess this is going to be something that is...
Oh!
Oh no, Alazan.
Press F to pay respects.
Yeah, unfortunately, an overworld death like that is going to cost a significant amount of time.
Especially if that Ice Rock Cave has something, because... like the Power Glove.
Yeah, I would qualify the Power Glove as something. Unfortunately, Alazan is going to have to go back there, as it looks like Artie Walsh and Gus both have accessibility into Tower of Hera now.
And I think that's where Gus is headed. All right, Lake Hylia Island just having a 20 bucks.
Sashula has the boots.
French vanilla boots, I would even say.
So it looks like Alazan's going to have the benefit of being able to go fast. Unfortunately, I think he's going to have to use some of that to head back over to the Ice Rod Cave. But it looks like might be going into Eastern Palace just to get what he can out of this.
Yeah. I gotta say, though, at this point, I like what Gus is doing. You have everything to go clear Hera, and that's where the most item-dense location is. You've got at least 10 items available to you with everything you've got. I would be making a beeline for Death Mountain at this point.
So is it just, you know, a matter of, all right, here's the hand I've been dealt, and this is the best way to play what you've been given?
Yep. We have a Fisher-Price My First Shield in Eastern. Yeah, because, like, right now, Alassan is stuck because he doesn't have the Power Glove, so the most items he can get to is in Sahasrara and Eastern, which was 6. Death Mountain, because the fact that we have the hammer, hookshot, power glove, and mirror, we have everything we need in order to clear out the 10 plus items that are in the Hera area. So this would be the best chance you have to find the next progression item.
Okay, was the ledge one of those 10 items? Because Gus has basically ignored a piece of heart.
On Spectacle Rock, yes, it was one of them.
Correct.
All right, there's the big key. Ooh!
Oh, no.
It's a death, but, I mean, he'll be right by the door, so it's not as big of a death.
Yeah, that lost maybe 5 seconds just to go through the animation, but really not much else. And it looks like we're going to get some work in with the hammer for Gus, as that seems to be his most effective weapon at this point.
It's also the only weapon that can kill Trolldorm.
Oh, minor details. Always pick something up along the way, huh? Interesting. With the hook shot, wouldn't you be able to get over to the big chest with Gus?
Yes, you could. But since he doesn't have the boots to bonk back... Alright, we got literacy in Paradox Cave, and Gus deciding to say, nope, I'm done. I found the 2 items, and I'm not dealing with Trolldorm just yet.
Now, with Green Mail and Trolldorm, would he be able to survive a hit?
Yeah, he can survive a couple hits with Trolldorm. I mean, the thing about Trolldorm is that you can get damaged by him, but it's more about getting trolled off the ledge, hence why we call him Trolldorm.
Yeah, I've seen that plenty of times, but, you know, there's always the other aspect of, you know, I mean, the hearts are a thing, and I'm kind of going, all right, can you actually just take enough damage to, you know, die by getting hit? It would be 4 hearts on Green Mail, or is it...
Oh!
Whoa!
There's the bow! And we have Quake on Spectacle Rock. Sorry, to answer your question, Troll Arm, I think, only does... It's either a heart of damage or a half heart. It's not multiple hearts of damage, so you're good. And I gotta say, I think that was a big mistake for Gus, because we now have everything to clear all 3 pendant dungeons.
Now, in what way was that a mistake? In that he gave up on Tower of Hera?
Yeah, and we have silver arrows at Ether Tablet.
Well, it looks like Plasma Kappa is headed into Hera at this point, and I think the likelihood is that you would full clear at this point, correct?
Yeah, the 2 items are the triple bombs there, and then the heart container that was in the big chest. So at this point, you would only be going to kill Trolldorm for the pendant.
Well, unfortunately, Plasma Kappa got caught out by something. I didn't see what got him, but something did, and it looks like Alizon is pulled off a fake flipper.
Yep, with the boots, you can also water walk. So he checked like Hylia Island, and now he's gonna make his way to Waterfall of Wishing, Ice Palace, and Turtle Rock are the 5-6 crystals.
Oh, the waterfall wasn't anything too impressive. Red rupee and a couple bombs. Well, I guess 8 is a little more than a couple, but...
Alright. B-Torp on the Zora ledge.
So that would be the 3rd bottle if Alizon ends up trying to pick that up. I don't think they will, though.
Yep. Alright, Aeginus Cave has a heart piece. Life lesson from Zora.
Yeah, not all investments are guaranteed to grow in value. Unfortunately, that one more of a yeah, like you say, life lesson. Put in 500, get back 20. Sorry.
And Alizon is keeping his water walk and walking back so he can go check Hobo. And Gus is heading for Desert.
Plasma Kappa seems to have noped out of Tower of Hera as well.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, at this point, knowing that we have all the items to complete all the pendant dungeons, I know, ideally, like in this distinct instance where all 3 light world dungeons are pendants, and you have the items to complete all of those pendant dungeons, I would be going to get all the pendants at this point.
So are you just going over to Eastern Palace at this point, or is there any particular dungeon you would go to, knowing that all 3 are open at this point?
Well, I would have finished Hera before going down the mountain. Oh, and Artie Walsh getting trolled again.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the hammer, you can't leave your sword out to deflect Trolldorm off of you. I believe it's 4 hammer hits for Trolldorm here?
3.
3, okay.
And down goes Trolldorm.
And the trophy is the compass. Oh,
and
wait.
Pendant number 1.
And about 24 minutes and, well, let's call it 10 seconds. R.D. Walsh claims the first trophy of this run today.
Alright, $50 in the big chest in Desert. To answer your question, I would have done Hera first. While I was up there and got all the items, I would have finished off Trolldorm. I would probably do Eastern next because there's the 3 items in Eastern versus the 2 in Desert. And then I probably would have done Desert last.
Well, it looks like Plasma Kappa picked up the bow. Looks like headed off to Eastern at this point. Alizun just went into Tower of Hera. Gus is in Desert. And R.D. Walsh is looking like they're on their way over to Desert. Plasma Kappa also deciding to save and quit after picking up the boots. Maybe Plasma Kappa had a little change after visiting Sashrala's closet there. And it looks like Plasma Kappa is off to Desert Palace as well. Gus has started the Lanmolas fight.
And using that hammer, smallest hitbox, closest to Lammo. Good thing that they have a red potion, because otherwise this would be a little treacherous.
Now, Gus has finished off one of the Lanmoluses. Maybe one or two more hits, and this should be... yeah, there goes number 2. Oh, that hitbox is not being cooperative at all for Gus.
Got it done, though. And the heart container is the second item in Desert. Okay, I actually revised what I said, because I forgot about the fact that Desert was the green pendant. I would have done Desert first, then Eastern, because you can turn in Sahasrara on your way to finishing Eastern.
I was just going to ask you about that as well, if that was a consideration in the way you were going to route things, as Alizun has picked up the bow, and all 4 runners now have the bow. And I believe everything they need to take on all of the dungeons in the Light World.
Yeah, Alizun still has to pick up the book here in Paradox Cave. But then we're pretty much, in terms of items, going to be even. And then it's just a matter of, at this point, I wasn't counting all the items in Eastern, but I think we found all 3. We're about to see what Sahasrara has. It's the Moon Pearl, that's Dark World access.
Oh, wow. So you could just about abandon ship on Eastern Palace and just say, nope, I'm going to the Dark World.
We'll see if Gus goes north to Eastern or south to Pod. Yeah, he's going for the portal. He's gonna head into Pod.
Well, not that he would have any real reason to go into Eastern Palace, but he would have the option of using the mirror to go into the Light World after doing Palace of Darkness.
Possibly. Oh, but Gus taking a death.
Oh no. Now, R.D. Walsh is, instead of using the hammer, attempting to use the bow on Lanmolas. And no sooner do I say that, switches over to the hammer and picks off Lanmolas number 1.
And there's 2.
And that would be number 3.
Alright, time for some hype. Let's see what we have in Hype Cave.
Yeah, but the only thing we're missing here is the flute.
have 10 arrows, fire rod, 20 bucks, heart container, and 20 bucks. Fire rod's good, but could be more.
Yeah, I'll give that I'd give that a 4. I mean, it had something. It wasn't completely useless, but 1 out of 5.
And Plasma Kappa using that cane of Brian to take care of the Lamelyses.
Now, Gus is headed over to the pyramid, gonna hopefully see what's on the pyramid ledge.
He's got to be careful, though. These Dark World enemies do a lot of damage.
Yeah, especially since green mail is what they have right now. You should have at least blue mail at this point, I believe. So
no, you don't get blue mail until Ice Palace.
Oh, okay.
Alright, Walsh has the Moon Pearl and gonna nope out from doing Eastern as well.
Well, it looks like the play was definitely to go into the Desert Palace, catch the Moon Pearl, and just hoof it on over to the Dark World. And with Gus having what looks like 984 rupees, definitely enough to pay for the services of unlocking Palace of Darkness. So Artie Walsh is finding the fire rod in the Hype Cave and little else of value, unfortunately.
Alright, bow locked out of pod, but we have the bow, so we can keep going.
How convenient. And with the compass, hopefully that will let Gus know exactly where he's supposed to go.
Exactly. Alright, so just because our Dark World access was not on the pedestal, that doesn't mean that we still may need to pull the pedestal, because we still need flippers, we still need Ice Rod. We'll need to see what the Mire and Turtle Rock medallions are, and we need Flute, Cane of Samaria, and a couple of sword upgrades. So there's still plenty that can be on that pedestal.
Oh, a sword would definitely be an interesting one, but I think one that could be skipped. So I think Flippers is probably going to be my particular choice for what's left that could be on the pedestal. And R.D. Walsh looks to be headed into the Palace of Darkness as well. Alazun is finished up the Lanmolas fight, picking up the Desert Palace pendant.
Meanwhile, Kappa has the Moon Pearl.
Now, Kappa picked up the Moon Pearl, but didn't head to Palace of Darkness.
No, that's what he's doing right now. He's gonna go to Hype Cave, and then probably head up to Pod from here.
Okay. Because it didn't use the same, I guess, route as Gus and R.D. Walsh did. as Alazun picked up the piece of heart in Agina's cave, and it looks like to save and quit to get on out of there, and it looks like Alazun should hopefully be headed over to Sashrala at this point. I think it'll be, beneficial for Alazun to check Sashrala, get the, I don't know if you want to call it good news or bad news, that Sashrala has the Moon Pearl. I guess it would save the time of having to do Eastern Palace.
Which is exactly what Alasan does. And there's the big key in the Dark Maze. We also found the blue mail, in what I believe is a compass chest, a pod. Alright, so instead of pod, Alasan is probably going to be heading, I guess, to Village of Outcasts, but I wouldn't be surprised if Alasan goes and checks the pedestal while he's here.
Well, I guess we might get our wish to see if the pedestal is alive and well or not so much. Oh, Alazun is baiting us, debated.
Heading to Dark World. We can certainly say at this point that Aga 1 is dead.
Yeah, there's no reason you would want that piece of heart that was in the Lumberjack Cave, and we clearly see that the runners have Dark World access as well.
Alright, Gus gonna be heading into Helmassar as Alasan heads into Thieves Town.
Yeah, R.D. Walsh just picked up the blue mail, and I believe you're right, that was the compass chest in the vanilla version of Link to the Past.
And we have a Cane of Samaria in Thieves Town. And we have a piece of chivalry in Thieves Town as well for the second item.
Oh, I'm just hoping that the flippers don't show up at this point, and I'll get my wish of a ped seed today. I think that's what I'm gonna pin my hopes on, is the shovel, or not the shovel, the flippers. Gus doing a good job of bonking Helmasaur's nose and then finishing it off.
Helmassar is down. 5-bomb upgrade for your troubles, and the first crystal of the game 39 minutes in.
Now, let's see. Oh, looks like Gus is using the mirror. He might actually go... Yeah, he is going into Eastern Palace. Nice.
I'm totally okay with this, because at this point, with everything being done in the eastern area, you're gonna orphan... If you leave, you're gonna have Orphan Eastern Palace by itself.
Well, the other thing to consider is, aside from saving and quitting, where would you go?
Well, we do have a bit of an update. We found an S-word in, Thieves Town.
Wait a second. I thought we're not allowed to have pointy objects.
We can have pointy objects, that's fine.
Well, I guess if nobody, you know, says anything about it, then it's okay to have it.
Alright, so, back to your earlier point, and Alaskan takes a death, as we were about to say that.
What a shame.
Prior to that sword, realistically, we only had left Eastern Palace. I don't know if Armos, and Chad is pointing out Armos does have an item. And then we didn't really have that many overworld checks left. But with that sword, that opens up Skullwoods.
Okay, because I'm kind of going, okay, I don't think you can get to Ice Palace. I don't think you can get into Swamp Palace because of flippers. You're missing the Ice Rod at minimum for Turtle Rock. We don't know what the pendant is for it, so it could be that as well. I'm just kind of trying to figure out, okay, what's the next move, but... You know, with Alizon picking up the sword from Thieves Town, that would open up Skull Woods, and it puts you basically on the entire other side of the map with what you would want to do next.
Mm-hmm.
So Gus looks like hedging a bet, perhaps, by doing... this particular dungeon with Eastern Palace. Oh, the last shot just bounces off the eyelid. There we go. And Gus will not have to worry about arrows unless he gets a little too...
If he does run out, you can use the Cane of Brian on Armos Knights. And a red meringue at the Armos Knights.
Now, it looks like we're going to see a blind fight and a Helmasaur fight as Plasma Kappa is taking on Helmasaur. Oh, wow. Plasma Kappa got rid of Helmasaur quick. And Alasson takes down Blind. Gus is off to Bonk Rocks. And adding to his considerable retirement fund for what to do after defeating Ganon with 1,300 rupees at this point.
Maybe he can get his own house so he can move out of his uncle's.
That'd be a good idea. Alazan finding a piece of heart in Thieves Town. And it looks like going to be headed down to the digging game. Doesn't look to be interested in rescuing a blacksmith at this point.
You don't have the Titansmiths in order to rescue him.
Ouch, 30 digs and nothing in the dig game. Oh, that's going to be so brutal for anybody else that goes over there.
And just couch cast on the pedestal.
My day is ruined. Looks like Plasma Kappa's headed toward the Thieves Town Skull Woods area. Finding a piece of heart, and R.D. Walsh actually pulling the pedestal and coming up with 20 bucks. And giving off a nice little hammer bonk just to, I guess, not being able to rage slash. But I feel the same way. I am very disappointed in the pedestal this seed. Well, it looks like we have Plasma Kappa going into Thieves Town.
Did I miss another sword upgrade? I saw one on South Grove, but I didn't see where Lassen's now up to Tempered Sword. Oh! Shovel had it. I do have to say, I agree with everyone in chat. This has got to be one of the biggest pedestal trolls I've seen. You have all 3 pendants in the light world. You have all the items in order to clear it before dark world access, and it's just couch cash.
Yeah, that was... need a better ending to that story, I say.
Yeah.
Ooh. Alright, R.D. Walsh is gonna check the bat. Gus looks to be headed into Thieves Town. Plasma Kappa making their way through Thieves Town. Somewhere along the way, I blinked and Alizun has a level 3 Tempered Sword already. What did I miss?
Yep, the one was on South Grove Cave, the other one was on... was what you dug up at the shovel spot.
Oh, wow. So all of the runners would have to go... Oh, no, that's not the shovel game, the shovel spot. Okay, 2 different places.
The Haunted Grove.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
right, so while we have a moment, let's remind everyone that this has been quite the show we've had so far from R.D. Walsh V, Gus, Plasma Kappa, and Alasan. Please, if you would be so inclined, give them follows on Twitch. They deserve the follows for the entertainment that they're providing for us today. And it should also be mentioned that today is Frico's birthday. Happy birthday, Frico.
Thank you. Although you didn't deliver on the birthday present. You said there was going to be a ped seed, and I guess pulling the pedestal's close enough, so I'll allow it.
Well, I'm not in charge of how these seeds are generated. I can only provide so much.
Oh, it's all right. Do what you can. And thank you to the chat for those of you wishing me a happy birthday as well. And it looks like Sarah Zelda 1 has just donated 25 bits.
Thank you very much.
Alright, Plasma Kappa is going to have a go at blind here. Kind of surprised hasn't switched over to the cane yet. Looks like we're just going to go vanilla pattern strats for Plasma Kappa. No safety needed as blind has been taken down.
Very nicely done.
And it looks like Gus is on his way to rescue the fair maiden, and
gonna be unfortunately surprised when he sees the maiden's true form.
Very true. We're starting to build up a collection of crystals at this point. For the time being, Plasma Kappa is in the lead, shall we say, with 2 crystals. Everyone else has at least 1. And it looks like Plasma Kappa is going to head straight up into Skull Woods to try to get crystal number 3.
Alright, blind is down for Gus. Alright, so to reset a bit, we still need Titan's Mints for Ice Mire and Turtle Rock. We still need Flippers for Swamp Palace and Ice Palace. We need the Ice Rod for Turtle Rock. We need the medallions for Mire and Turtle Rock. And we need the flute to get to Mire. Oh, Walther, I must have just missed it. Titan's Mitts and Flippers were on, were apparently in Skullwoods, according to our tracker, Walter the Fourth.
Well, that's interesting, because I did not see them.
Trying to keep track of 4 runners, you miss things sometimes, unfortunately.
Now, that's very true, especially when I'm, I had my attention up toward R.D. Walsh is going to go into that blind boss fight, or the boss fight of blind, as we properly should call it.
Okay, so knowing that would mean that Swamp Palace and Ice Palace are both in play right now.
And it would also show why Plasma Kappa does not have either of those items, because He's presently fighting Mothula, the Skullwoods boss.
Yeah, he started from the back and is gonna work his way to the front. Okay, so to reset on the reset, we just need Mire Medallions, Ice Rod, and Flute.
So our honey to-do list is significantly shorter now.
Yes. Alright, Mothula down for Gus.
Looks like Plasma Kappa just has the early part of Skull Woods, and they'll be off to their next destination. I guess not being able to just kind of nope out of Skull Woods, you gotta hoof it on the way back.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense, and I gotta say, I know Dr. Bobtastic likes to call Palace of Darkness the Mullet Mansion, because of course business in the front, party in the back. But SRK Tiberius in chat is saying that he's calling that the Mullet Gamble, where you start in the back of Skull Woods and make your way up from the front.
I just call it good, solid speedrunning.
Meanwhile, Gus is going to be heading into Swamp Palace from here. That would make the most sense. It's got the most items, 6 inside.
And there we go. R.D. Walsh is taking down Mothula. Looks like Alazin is gonna be headed into Skull Woods now. Let's see if just go from the start and work their way back, or start at the boss and work their way forward. R.D. Walsh also does not have the flippers and Titansmiths at this point.
Yeah, he's doing the same strategy of go fight Mothula first and then work your way up.
Do you think there's any chance that a runner would go into Skull Woods, take out Mothula, and then just kind of save and quit and go somewhere else? Or is it kind of common courtesy, or, you know, just good knowledge to go through the rest of Skull Woods while you're there?
You would still go through it. You would still go through it. It would just be a matter of the whole point of it being the mullet gamble is that you're gambling that the 2 items are in the back of Skull Woods, so then you don't have to do the front. That's really a question of what you have to do if there isn't, if the items aren't in the back.
Ah, okay. So, knowing that the items aren't in the back, you definitely head then toward the front of Skull Woods to pick up the items.
Exactly.
Oh, R.D. Walsh went for a swag bomb jump and looked to be a little bit off. Ah, there we go. Got it that time.
Okay, meanwhile, Kappa is returning Jeremiah home, making a stop at the Peg Cave and finding triple bombs there.
And there we go. Walsh picked up the flippers, picked up the mitts, and good to go out of Skull Woods now.
I missed what was on Jeremiah, but I'm checking it on the restream. Just a big 20.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that caught my eye. So, and it looks like Plasma Kappa's going to courier over a chest to see what's in the lunchbox.
Alright, Kappa, meanwhile, is probably about to get his sword upgrades while he's taking the lunchbox back to Gary. Why did I blank on his name?
Oh, that's alright. There's the Master Sword upgrade for Plasma Kappa.
Which would have been nice for Gus to pick up, because now he's got to do fighter sword spins to try to take out these puffballs.
Oof.
Alright, since I missed it earlier, Plasma Kappa pulls out the shovel, strike the earth, there's the tempered sword.
And Olassen pulling off a pedestal check, finding out that it's nothing too interesting, and looks to be on their merry way back through the front of Skull Woods.
All right, I gotta say, Tiberius, with the memes that you're coming up with, you might want to join us in commentary sometime, because he's saying Plasma's being an Uber Eats driver, delivering the lunch to Gary. And
I'm all for it.
The delivery just for a little bit of love.
Yeah, that's kind of like the old man not leaving a tip either. This is Well, in other news, Gus looks like picking up the big key from the boss. Is he's finished off Swamp Palace.
And Argus is down.
And it looks like R.D. Walsh is now in Zora's domain, and we know this is not exactly the best thing he could be doing. Seems to have noped out of Zora entirely.
Chad also pointing out, Kappa did not go and check the Bombos tablet while he was delivering Gary's lunch.
And that's a place we could have had an item that is on our list of... let's see, we have the ice rods left, silver arrows for convenience.
Which we know is on the ether tablet.
Flute, I think we'll still need.
And medallions from Mire and Turtle Rock.
Okay. And as of yet, we don't know what either of those medallions are either, do we?
Nope. And Walsh, unfortunately, heading into Ice Palace with only the fighter sword.
Ooh.
Although Old Man Sunshine in chat pointing out, with him having Fire Rod and Half Magic, he should... And Bombos Medallion also. He should have enough to be able to take care of Cold Stare.
Yeah, use the Bombos Medallion to break the shell, and then hopefully between the hammer and the Fire Rod, be able to just pin him into a corner and take him down.
Raw SP 33D. Can Fighter Sword not reach through to that switch in Swamp Palace? Yes. If you have a Master Sword or higher, you can go through the barrier and hit that switch. Otherwise, you need either a boomerang or a bomb or something in order to get the switch in the left side of Swamp.
And as we know, where the level 2 and level 3 swords are right now, well, 2 of the 3 outstanding item, or the sword upgrades.
And we have another B-Torp in left side Swamp, so Swamp Palace not holding much.
And that's the location of all 4 of our bottles that's been revealed this game as well, I believe. The remaining bottle was Zora's Ledge, if I recall correctly.
Yes. And Samuel W09 just gave us a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much. Your sub and bit donations are what keep the lights on here at Speed Gaming, and we appreciate each and every one of them.
Now, Plasma Kappa seems to be a little more prepared for this fight than Gus was. It might go a little quicker.
Now we know Quake is on the floating island, and we know the silver arrows are on the ether tablet, but it all depends on what medallions you need to get into Mire and Turtle Rock.
And we're going to have to go into both of them, as we know they're both crystals. And there we go. Plasma Kappa's finished off Swamp Palace now as well.
Yeah, we're getting a convergence on Ice Palace, which kind of makes sense because that's the only dungeon at this point that is really available to the runners.
So Ice Rod could be on the Bombos tablet.
Ice Rod could literally be anywhere other than Trinex and GT.
Well, yeah, because we would need it to beat Trihex. I'm just trying to narrow it down as to, you know, where, like, the worst possible location for a required item might be. Because, you know, I've had my plans foiled for a pedestal seed. But that's not going to stop me from trying everything I can.
About the worst I could come up with right now, Mushroom being the only fetch quest we have left. Some sort of, like, deviousness where you have to go into Turtle Rock to get the, you go into Turtle Rock and, like, Mimic Cave has the flute. You go activate the flute, you go to Mire, and the mushroom is there, and then you need that for the Ice Rod. That's about the most devious I can come up with.
That is pretty savage. I will give you that. But, ooh. I do not appreciate something like that actually being part of the item logic.
Certainly possible.
But yeah, as chat points out, that gives you a forced double dip into Turtle Rock. And R.D. Walsh is
He manages to get Cold Stare in a corner for a little bit. And just like that, Cold Stare's down.
Yeah, I think tried to use that level 1 sword, but couldn't keep Cold Stare contained and just switched right over to the Fire Rod and just fired at will.
I believe Fighter Sword will not damage Cold Stare.
Now, it would still cause the Cold Stares to move after being hit, or not?
I don't think so.
Because I saw Walsh definitely try to use the sword, and then switched over to the Fire Rod.
One of our trackers, Walls of the Force, saying spins do it, not slashes. For Fighter Sword. So nothing in Ice Palace or Swamp Palace.
So, let's see. Well, R.D. Walsh is going to get the bad news of the Zora investment plan.
Then we have Bombo's Tablet, we have Super Bunny Cave, and Hookshot Cave. And unless Ether is needed to get into Turtle Rock, in theory you could get into Turtle Rock at this point.
Yeah, I think that would be a stretch. You're kind of taking a leap of faith hoping that you could even get into Turtle Rock in the first place. Alizon's taking a little different strategy, using the Fire Rod, but...
Well, he has Temperate Sword, so he's able to damage Cold Stare a bit more, but has to be careful with only 3 hearts left, and gets it done.
Yeah, getting the eyes all trapped up in the corner, even though they broke free a little later, just looked like one shot was all that was required to finish them off. At this point, both Mystery Mire and Turtle Rock are going to be a leap of faith, just by the fact that we don't know what the required medallions are. I mean, that's really what most of the runners are going to have left. R.D. Walsh has Swamp Palace. Plasma Kappa's on their way through Ice Palace. Gus is about to finish off Cold Stare.
And Elastin is going to show us what's on the Bombos Tablet.
Oh, ooh. This is going to be a hammer. I did not notice. Gus does not seem to have any way to refill his magic.
He's out. Bombos Tablet just having a heart container.
Ooh, so Bombos Tablet's out. R.D. Walsh is delivering a lunchbox. I'm going to steal a line from chat. I don't remember exactly who it was, but looks like he's going to be our Uber Eats delivery driver today.
SRK Tiberius, who gave us that one.
Thank you. I did not remember who it was and want to give proper credit.
Although R.D. Walsh forgot about Digging Game, so willingly lost the lunchbox via the world transition and is probably going to go back for it after Digging Game.
Now, I already know that they've gone 30 digs and got nothing. Which, I guess with the point being to find whatever they can to get into Mire or Turtle Rock. And it looks like R.D. Walsh is noped out as well of the shovel game. Gus taking time out to discuss his retirement with Zora and finding out that's not the best way to invest your money.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
And it looks like it's back to the life of a Uber Eats delivery driver for R.D. Walsh here. Plasma Kappa is just about done with Ice Palace at this point.
And Gus making probably the most logical play at this point, heading up to Death Mountain and gonna check Dark Death Mountain and probably also see what medallion we need for Turtle Rock.
Now, are there other places, if Turtle Rock kind of strikes out and it's Ether, for example, since I don't think we even know where that medallion is at all, what other potential options are there?
Well, that's the thing. Not really. I mean, we've pretty much combed over everything at this point. The flute has to be somewhere. Although Gus reminded me we also have not seen Spike Cave yet, so he's going to show us that.
Well, that's exactly what I was alluding to, because I thought Spike Cave was going to be in that area, and I'm going, we're really getting close as to where anything could be. Oh, and that's only arrows. Ouch.
Just arrows there.
I believe Catfish has been checked by someone, and it was nothing of, I think, much value. To be honest, I don't even remember what it was. Plasma Kappa's finished off Ice Palace and now is going to join into the Wild Goose Chase as they try to figure out where the flute, the ice rod, and any medallions that they may need are going to be.
And Gus, having not done Dig Spot or South Grove, I imagine he's about to get at least Master Sword here.
And it looks like R.D. Walsh is continuing on the ways of the 100% speed run, having done all of the pendant dungeons, pulled the pedestal, and looks like Swamp Palace, the only possible option is Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are potentially gated off by medallions.
Yeah, we're about to... Plasma Kappa is making the trek up the mountain, so I would imagine we're going to see here what medallion we need for Turtle Rock. Now, if it is Quake, we have the means to go get it right now on the floating island.
Yeah, Plasma Kappa just saw the Quake medallion, so I think it's really only the Ether medallion that would throw the runners at this point.
All right, let's see. For Turtle Rock, we need Quake.
And it's back to the floating island.
Which is good, because we got to check Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave anyway. And just a pair of big 20s in Stupid Bunny Cave.
And here we go into Hookshot Cave. Just like, unfortunately, strike one with the first chest being... Ooh, if Plasma Kappa is going to jump out of there and reset the cave. The bottom chest being 20 rupees.
Another shield there. 50 bucks. And $5.
So Hookshot Cave, not exactly the most exciting.
Which means into Turtle Rock we go, and I gotta believe, and I gotta imagine that Flute's in Turtle Rock or Mimic Cave at this point.
Well, do we even know what the medallion to Misery Mire is?
Nope, because we don't have the Flute to even get there.
So we need the flute to be in Turtle Rock, or we're going to be...
Or this is a broken seed at this point, because we've literally checked everything else.
That was a broken seed the second the pedestal got knocked out of play.
Well, it's still a logical seed, but broken in terms of all these runners won't be able to finish it.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate, but I mean, I'm all for having to redo the daily race because of nonsense and shenanigans. Hopefully we can check that box of pedestal required when we get the next seed.
Chad also pointing out with Turtle Rock being the other 5-6 crystal, Flute could be in Pyramid Fairy, but that would require Ice Rod to be in Turtle Rock.
Well, where else could items be at this point? I mean...
There's got to be something here in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's very true. But could it be the mushroom that we find in Turtle Rock?
If that leads to Flute or Ice Rod, yes.
I mean, so it's got to be one of the list out of mushroom, Ice Rod, or Flute has to be in Turtle Rock at this point.
Yep.
Unless there is a location that has been overlooked.
No, we've pretty much seen all of them. Alaskan is the first to get the silver arrows off of the ether tablet.
And there's no way to kind of backdoor into Misery Mire. We definitely need the flute.
You need the flute to get there, and you need the Mire medallion to get in. Now, if we were running overworld glitches, that might be a different conversation, but we're not, so you can't use those overworld glitches.
Yeah, that's very true. I think we would frown upon the use of overworld glitches. But, oh, this is just so savage.
And there's the flute, vanilla big key
there we
chest.
All right, so we have progression. We can get to Misery Mire. We have 2 medallions for Misery Mire. So, this at least guarantees we get to listen to the Hylian national anthem, so I'm okay with this.
Yes. Now we still have to find Ice Rod, and then you have to imagine if you need ether for Turtle Rock, it's going to be either in Mimic, or for Mire, it's either going to need to be in Mimic Cave or in Turtle Rock.
So you're just about going to have to go all the way to, all the way through Turtle Rock as far as you can, or at least until you pick up all of the items, just to look for the Ice Rod, unless it's in Misery Mire, which is now a possibility.
I mean, at this point, because they are in opposite corners of the world, I would dip as far into Turtle Rock as I can, because if you need ether to get into Mire, the absolute worst thing you could do right now is, as soon as you get the flute, nope out, go to Mire, see that it's ether, and realize you have to go all the way back to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that would be... frustrating.
Alright, but the map is in the roller room, so we just have Laser Bridge left. Now that is fully acknowledging that the Ice Rod could be in Mire, but the time lost by noping out of Turtle Rock early and having to go back in a second time, I think would be
far worse than just running off to Misery Mire as quick as you can. Yeah, I definitely, can see the value of, avoiding the risk of ruin by going down, any particular road at this point.
Alright, we have the small key for the Trinex room. There's the red mail. And triple bomb, so Ice Rod is not here, we're noping out.
Oh, so disgusting. So now it's off to Misery Mire, where... Are we basically guaranteed that it can't be ether?
No, it could be ether. It just could be in Checkerboard Cave in Mire Shed. But ladies and gentlemen, at this time, to honor Hyrule, we ask that you join us for the playing of the National Swag Duck Anthem. And with that, the Hawk's about to rock, and we salute you.
I don't know about you, but I made sure to stand up, remove my hat, and salute.
Alright, so predictably, Plasma Kappa is now heading to Mire. I would imagine you do Mire Shed, Checkerboard Cave, and then if you can get into Mire... At that point, you have to be able to get into Mire.
Well, I think I'd peek over and see what the medallion was.
He did, it's Quake, so we don't need ether. There's butter.
Oh, everything's better with butter.
So now we're just an Ice Rod away from Go Mode. It's either going to be in Checkerboard Cave or it has to be in Mire at this point.
And Alazun is right on the heels of Plasma Kappa picking up the flute.
And Checkerboard Cave is Piece of Heart, so Yeah, at this point, the ice rod has to be one of the 2 items in Misery Mire.
This is so gross. Well, that's actually, it could be the mushroom that's in Misery Mire, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be the mushroom. I guess let's put it this way. Whatever leads to the ice rod has to be in here.
Yeah, we're definitely running out of places that it could even be hiding in. But oh man, this is just one of those seeds where I'm just like, I want to just like crawl under my couch and just like hide from this seed.
It has been quite the troll.
Like, let me know when it's safe to come back out.
All right, and of course we get a god mire when we still have to find the ice rod.
Yeah, I expected nothing less. Oh, well, we're in the right food group, at least. We've got a burrito in that chest for Plasma Kappa.
Tricks of Shadow asking what a Godmire is. It is that the big key is in one of those first 2 chests in Misery Mire, and if you're in go mode, you can go straight to Vitreous from there. Alright, Big 20 is the first item. Ice Rod or Mushroom has to be the second.
Oh, boy. Mushroom!
And the mushroom!
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to call that on you, but I was kind of going, wait a second, we just talked about the mushroom could have led to one of these items, and I'm actually shocked I actually remembered something for once.
Chat calling me out because I actually called this.
That's alright. You gotta know, when I'm on commentary, there is nothing but nonsense and shenanigans. It's guaranteed.
Well, you know.
Alizun has released the Quacken and is on their way down to Misery Mire. Board Eric, we know it is not a pedestal seed. I believe all of the runners have at least checked it. What we need is the ice rod for Turtle Rock.
Alright, into the eyeball shooting gallery we go. And of course, then Plasma Kappa does Cape Dash strats instead.
Well, that was more like shooting fish in a barrel.
And gets it done.
And And that will be crystal number 6. And we know we're going to have to pay a visit to the witch to probably find ourselves the ice rod to finish off Turtle Rock.
Yep, we'll be in go mode at that point. All right, we're gonna recap this scene here in a little bit, but Plasma Kappa turns in that mushroom, and at 1 hour 36 minutes, Plasma Kappa is into go mode.
All right, so I believe that we're one dungeon away from playing a little guessing game, aren't we?
We can play it now that we don't have the bot for the leaderboard with it, so we can still play unofficially. But to recap, we had all 3 pendant dungeons in the light world. We had all the items to clear all 3 pendant dungeons in the light world. Green pendant was in Desert Palace. Sahasrara had the Moon Pearl, and then we've now gone through all of this crazy. It's almost been a linear seed now that I'm actually thinking about it. Like, you had to go to Thieves Town to get a sword. You then had to go to Skull Woods after getting the Fire Rod at Hype Cave to get Titan's Mitts and Flippers. That led to nothing at Swamp and Ice. And then Turtle Rock had the flute to go to Mire to get the mushroom, to then go back to the witch to get the ice rod.
Now, there's some speculation in the chat as to where the silver arrows are. I believe that was the
Ether tablet.
Ether tablet. Okay.
And there was actually a conversation going on earlier about, do you go through, at this point, this is the question they were asking is essentially Plasma Kappa's situation. He has not gone to Ether Tablet to get the silver arrows, but he is in go mode at this point. So is he gonna risk the time to go pick up the silver arrows off of the Ether Tablet before ascending Ganon's Tower and going through the gauntlet? To me personally, at this point with Butter Sword, I'd probably just say no, just run the gauntlet and just go Butter Sword silverless.
No, it's always risk reward. You know, you're gonna save some time by not going out to the medallion, as we have Gus using the cape to take out all the miniature eyeballs.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but here's the thing. Like, you're saving probably about, I want to say, just under a minute by doing silver. Silvers gives you about a minute on Butter Sword Ganon execution, because it's still 12 sword spins you would have to do. And that minute is essentially mirroring into the light world, going to Ether Tablet, doing the cutscene, going back to the portal, and re-entering Ganon's Tower. Honestly, it's about a wash at this point.
Well, that's interesting, because Plasma Kappa is actually the only one that does not have the silver arrows at this point. And otherwise, I think it's clear that Plasma Kappa, out of the restreamed runners, is, I guess, would you say, in the lead?
Yes.
At this point?
He is certainly in the lead at this point. Once he finishes off Trinex, he is into Ganon's Tower. Very nice zero cycle from Plasma Kappa.
Looks like RD Walsh, while the shell of Trihex goes. It's going to be headed into Misery Mire.
And that is crystal number 7. So, there are 22 locations where the Ganon's Tower Big Key can be in the basement of Ganon's Tower. If you'd like to play in our unofficial guessing game, you need to guess a number between 1 and 22. Where you think the Ganon's Tower Big Key can be? Freako, what is your guess?
Let's go number 5.
You know what? This seed has been trolling enough. I'm going tile room number 22.
I think this is about going to be the first thing that actually goes right for the runners. And, you know, I'm kind of hoping the big key will show up fairly early on.
And Plasma Kappa is going to take the time to go get the silver arrows.
Well, it's definitely not that far of a walk over, so, let's see. We can gauge how much of a time difference it would be. It was 1:41:23 when, Ganon's Tower opened up. So that was about 23 seconds to run over and grab the silvers.
Okay, so probably saving you're losing about 20 seconds to save 30, but number 1, small key. Number 2, 10 arrows. We'll certainly ask Plasma Kappa about it if we can get him in for an interview. I gotta give it to chat. I didn't really have like the exact times on the ether tablet, so I was just kind of pulling them out of thin air. But those in chat that did actually have the right times, you were right in the end. But number 3, piece of heart 4, $5 5, $20 6. There it is.
Oh, couldn't go to the left one first. Ah, this is a rigged competition. All he had to do was go to the left one first, and I would have been right for the first time.
Sorry, man. The thing is, that last one, that 6th one, the holes on the floor will always open up on that chest, which is why you always do that one last.
Ugh.
Now, we did have someone correctly guess number 6, so Rignegtrays, I think is how you pronounce that. Congratulations! You have won a year's supply of randomizer seeds. All you have to go do is go to ALTTPR.com and claim your prize. Offer only valid to version 31 of the randomizer. Offer completely ignores the fact that anybody can go to ALTTPR and claim this prize. The randomizer is for everybody. However, your randomizer lasts longer than 4 hours. Please consult the spoiler log. Have your doctor check you for eye suckitis, which includes an addiction to powder and potions. Terms and conditions apply. Void where prohibited.
All right, Jextrefi, take a breath. Going through all of that. Yeah.
And at this point, Plasma Kappa is into the gauntlet. Unfortunately, Alasan is doing the Smith chain.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is not going to work out very well. I think, Alasan just needs to, go into Mire at this point, don't they? Or no, Mire's finished.
He's got the mushroom. He just hasn't. He has other checks he's doing before taking the mushroom to the witch.
An unfortunate side effect of not knowing what we know compared to, seeing all of the runners that are restreamed. Looks like R.D. Walsh is going to be number 2. Or actually, I believe Gus might be the second one into, yeah.
Gus is about to finish off Trinex. Walsh just got into go mode with the ice rod.
And Alizon is looking to check a few places still, it looks like. Might be going down to the Bombos tablet.
Alright, Gus has finished off Trinex and is going to be on his way to Ganon's Tower here shortly.
It's Alizon, Witch Cave. Go visit the witch.
If that's being set up the way I think it is, it might be a pyramid check. Pyramid ledge to catfish and probably do witch right after that. Or in between that, I should say. But Trolldorm is down for Plasma Kappa. And Plasma Kappa, you just killed Trolldorm. Why did you have to steal his last possession?
Because it could have been the Swagnet.
Chat, you gotta remember, don't be a thief. Don't take things that don't belong to you.
But it could have been a Swagnet.
Yeah, but you shouldn't steal Swagnet when you have a butter sword for the Geometry Wars.
Alright. Plasma Kappa getting one hit in on Ognum.
There was a chance for a double there, but doesn't get it set up.
Oh, looks like one hit each on first 3. Oh, just misses the double. We're on 4 hits for Ognum. There's 5, there's 6.
So
Ognum 2 is down.
Aga 2 is down. And with that, it is time for the big pig.
Alright, so Alizon is, while that was all going down on Plasma Kappa's side, Alizon has picked up the Ice Rod. And it looks like we have all of our restreamed runners having all of the necessary items they need.
Alright, Plasma Kappa is already through the first 2 phases.
Oh, Ganon is being rather cooperative and not teleporting around a whole bunch of times. And no sooner do I say that is off he goes. 4.
Alright. Into phase 4 we go. Gets 1. Just gets a torch glitch.
Oh, just misses the triple.
But that will do it.
We have a bunch of finishers, but once Plasma Kappa makes that long trek across the bridge, out of our restreamed runners, Plasma Kappa will finish first But overall, in 8th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 2 seconds.
Spam those GGs in chat.
If you don't mind, I'm going to run it through everybody who's finished so far.
Go right ahead. I'll go see if we can get Plasma Kappa in for an interview.
Sinhee is finished in 1st place overall with a time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, 12 seconds. Pink Kitty Rose finished 2nd place, 1 hour, 41 minutes, 50 seconds. Data World finished in 3rd, 1 hour, 42 minutes, 28 seconds. Sonicam, 4th place, 1 hour, 42 minutes, 47 seconds. P-Train 24, 5th place, 1 hour, 46 minutes, 21 seconds. Macanex, 6th place, 1 hour, 47 minutes, 10 seconds. Files, 7th place, 1 hour, 48 minutes, 11 seconds.
And as we mentioned earlier, Kappa finished 8th with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 2 seconds. And now he joins us in chat. GG.
GG. Thanks, Blue King.
Well, you got off to a slow start, but it looked like the routing more than made up for it, as you overtook everybody else in the, at least out of everybody that was restreamed.
Yes, well, I had to play a bit YOLO. Can't burn 2 minutes in the hole like that. 4 minutes in!
Yeah, unfortunately, with it just worked out that the way that the prize packs were set up, the first rat you killed had a bomb.
I see.
So, tell us about what you were thinking in terms of the fact that we had all of the necessary items to clear all 3 Light World pendant dungeons, and in the end, it was just couch cash on the pedestal.
I mean, that was funny. I got there like, oh, that's cool. But I really don't want to go into Eastern now that I have this pearl. So I'm getting out of here. And I'm like, well, I hope that's not it. Because I'm gonna do pod immediately after. And then it wasn't it, so I was happy.
Yeah, we were kind of recapping it earlier. It turned out to be a pretty linear seed with Swamp and Ice Palace both having nothing.
Yeah, it was like, okay. There's nothing in Swamp, so clearly there's something in Ice or the Overworld. And then both of those water locations have nothing. I'm like, oh, there's something in Swamp, I'm dead. And I just ran with it anyway. And then I was saved by the mushroom.
I mean, at that point, we pretty much knew at that point, when you went into Mire, based on what everyone else had checked, we pretty much knew the mushroom had, either the ice rod or the mushroom had to be in Mire.
Neat. Yeah. I don't think there's any way. I don't check the mushroom first before going back into Eastern.
Yeah, we had seen Eastern a long time ago, and there wasn't, other than like a shield, there wasn't anything of importance. Gus has taken down Agatu and is on his way to the Big Pig.
Yeah, R.D. Walsh is not very far behind. Allison is just starting the trek into Ganon's tower.
So for once, right side was not a meme.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still very disappointed in you.
Oh, hold on. Allison is unfortunately going left side.
Ooh. I had picked chest 5.
Yep.
And the key was in chest 6 because you went to the right side top chest before the left side. I just want to, let you know that,
Well,
that was definitely a thing that,
You see, I clearly sensed it, and I was like, oh, I'll just go in this order instead.
I'm pretty sure that last chest is always the one that opens up the holes in the in that room regardless. So usually that one always gets checked last.
Ooh, Gus's unfortunately didn't look like he was able to pull off the torch glitch.
But with Fire Rod and Half Magic, you really don't need to worry about that all that much. And that should do it for Gus.
Yeah, that's shot number 4 on Ganon. And now we'll just need to make that long trek across the bridge.
And Gus finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 3 seconds. GG's to Gus.
Yeah, get a couple of those GG's in the chat there.
Does Ganon's vulnerability drop if he hits the edge? Yes. That is usually why you'll see the runners strategically place themselves in order to be able to get double and triple shots, but as soon as they hit the edge, the vulnerability is over.
And Allison has found our last medallion on the left side of Ganon's tower.
I did forget to mention earlier that when Gus finished, he was actually in 9th place, and Lyra Silveria just finished in 10th with SRL time of 1:57:30. And we got another thief on our hands with R.D. Walsh.
You're gonna have a talking to with these people then. Show them the virtues of leaving things where they lie.
All right, Geometry Wars time for R.D. Walsh.
Oh, unfortunately, it didn't look like able to get any hits in on. Got one. And that's 2 as Alizon finishes off the Ice Armos fight. R.D. Walsh picks up a 3rd hit. 4 and 5, I believe.
And it looks like it was the Ice Armos that were holding your swag net.
It looks like R.D. Walsh is going to be having a go at Ganon as Alizon looks to have finally gone down the right side. I think Jex Refi is departed for a couple seconds to see if Gus is going to come in for an interview.
I'm still here. I just waiting on Walsh to finish up phase 2.
I saw you try to get Gus's attention in the SRL chat, so I wasn't sure if you were going to focus on that or...
That's okay. I think Gus will be joining us. He just had to take a little break after finishing the race. And Alizon has gotten the big key and is on the way to the gauntlet.
Yeah, I think going through the left side, that was just about chest 22 for Alizon.
It would have been 21, having not done tile room.
Ah, okay. So you would have been 1 off on that way. I was 1 off this way.
Oh, Walsh almost fell off the ledge, but managed to stay up.
That was very close.
All right, and that does it for Artie Walsh the fifth. All right, so AK Drizzt finished in 11th place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 0 minutes and 6 seconds, and Artie Walsh the fifth finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours and 44 seconds. GG's to Walsh.
Yeah, let's see if Walsh and Gus don't mind jumping on in for a little bit of an interview.
Looks like we've been joined by Gus. GG.
Thank you. GG. Well, I'm not a huge fan of these kind of seeds where the seed just kind of give you everything and it boils down to these like 2 free items that you're gonna just run around everywhere and look for.
Yeah, it pretty much turned out to be a... Well, it was very troll at first, because you had all of the pendants in the light world and all the items to clear all of those dungeons available, and then it's just couch cash on the... It was just couch cash on the pedestal.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed when Sasha gave me the moon pearl. I was secretly hoping for the moon pearl to be there on the pedestal, but not this time.
Yeah, we were kind of all hoping for that as well, and RD Walsh the fifth is now joining us in chat as well. GG's to you.
Yeah, G, certainly. Not sure about the other G, but it was game.
So we were just talking about the fact that you had all the means to clear all of the pendant dungeons in the light world, and then of course Sahasrahla had the moon pearl and the pedestal just had couch cash.
Yeah, I kind of went all, I was kind of going all in on that. Like, I didn't really think Sahasrahla was going to have anything, and then once I got the moon pearl, I'm like, do I really want to clear Eastern? But then Pod gave me nothing, so it's like, yeah, we'll just do this, and we'll just pull this on the way to Dark World, and yeah, it was just, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you going through the effort of pulling the pedestal.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm glad that. Hopefully Twitch chat was happy with that.
Yeah, but as I was about to say to both Gus and Walsh, realistically, once you got to the Dark World, it was pretty linear because Swamp and Ice had nothing, Thieves Town had the first sword, and then you go to Skullwoods for the Titans, Mitts, and Flippers, and then it was like this. It was a forced double dip of Turtle Rock in between Mire.
Yeah, it was linear, except you had like all these. Like, I think there was a point like halfway through the seed where like after I cleared Ice House, where I wasn't sure if I wanted to like make that gamble on Turtle Rock and like check the East Death Mountain stuff, or if I wanted to just do Swamp Palace, and I ended up like, yeah, just full clearing the overworld, full clearing Swamp, and yeah, it didn't feel great.
Ooh, and we get
Alizon
got trolled by Trolldorm. Sorry about that. Meanwhile, Hayfield Bay finished in 13th place with an SRL time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 31 seconds. And as I'm saying that, Lin finishes in 4th place with an SRL time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 48 seconds.
That would be 14th, not 4th. Just to correct you.
Thank you.
And it looks like Alizon's about ready to play a game of Geometry Wars.
But yeah, I mean, to all of our runners in chat right now, I mean, all of your executions were pretty good. It just was a pretty trolly setup in terms of the item placement.
Yeah, the way things started out, I was, optimistic with having all 3 pedestals. All 3 of the pendants for the pedestal being right there in the light world. And I'm going, ooh, we might have ourselves an Aga pedestal seed, and ended up getting debated on both of them.
Yeah, it's
It
kind
looks
of
like Alizun's going to make short work of Ganon here. Looks like already done with phase 2.
Sorry, we stepped on one of you.
Oh no, that's fine. I was just gonna say, like, I was really hoping for that Moon Pearl on Ped though. Like that would, I would have been part of maybe the most legendary race ever, but alas, just standard double dip turtle rock.
Yeah, just debated as always.
Exactly, yeah.
Alright, Haunted Quest finished in 15th place with an SRL time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, 16 seconds.
Oh, I see some of my Mega Man 2 randomizer people are starting to wander into the chat. Kamasenin remarking that he does know this voice, as I do a lot of the commentary for that particular tournament that's going on right now.
I'm guessing that is what's coming up next on Speed Gaming? Speed Gaming 4, I should say?
I don't believe so. I believe they actually may have just finished a race that was going on at the same time as this, but, can only commit to one of them.
Exactly, and Alizun finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 10 seconds in 16th place. GG's.
So make sure to get those GGs in the chat, as we have all 4 restreamed runners finishing at this point.
And we have Allison in chat. GG.
GG.
All right, how do you pronounce your name? I kept going with so many different things.
I'm not surprised. Allison is usually how I pronounce it.
Okay.
Which led to an awkward moment in college where I responded to the name Allison in class once.
Yeah.
So, Ice Rod Hunt, really original.
Yeah. Well, we were also talking about the fact that this was a totally debated seed, because we were all hoping Moon Pearl was going to be on pedestal.
I was so disappointed. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to blind pull this pedestal. Like, I can feel it. The Moon Pearl's here. No. I've never been more disappointed to find progression.
Oh, believe me, I was disappointed as well. I was all but pulling for everything to be...
Yeah, that was a little sad. And I came really close to a forfeit, because I had forgotten to mark the mushroom.
Oh.
I literally only went to Witch's Hut to buy potions. And I'm like, wait, did I have the mushroom?
Yep.
So I would have gone to Catfish and been like, okay, I've checked everything in the game. Where's the Ice Rod?
Yeah, the thing was, at the point that Plasma Kappa found went into Misery Mire, we pretty much knew that either the Ice Rod or the mushroom had to be in Misery Mire at that point.
Yeah, I would say that makes sense. The reason I went to Eastern right away after Mire was because we had gotten the bow so early in the seed, and as I recall, Palace of Darkness didn't really give us anything. And so I was kind of assuming the bow was supposed to lead to something, and kind of got baited there. But...
yeah,
I mean, it's what it is. I feel okay. I read the double dip in Turtle Rock that was absolutely required. I executed badly, but, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, speaking of which, since you were talking about Eastern, like, Gus, you had actually gotten Dark World access first by getting the Moon Pearl, and then went to Pod, and then immediately mirrored and went into Eastern. What was your thinking with that? Gus, you still there?
You might be muted, Gus. I can answer that I thought about doing that very hard. Since we were, like, right there.
Yeah, I mean, my thought while watching you guys was that you don't want to orphan Eastern, especially since we still didn't know what was on pedestal at that point. All right, so real quick, Psychic finished in 17th place with 2 hours, 10 minutes, 12 seconds. Recedador finished in 18th place with 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 16 seconds. And in the SRL chat, Recedador just said, being able to pick up the ped on the way to the Dark World was novel, but was it worth the $20 admission price? Probably not.
I would say, was it 20 rupees?
It was couch cash.
I didn't see how much it was, though.
I think
Can confirm 20 rupees.
I think pocket change is like $5, and then couch cash is 20.
All right, well then, it was probably worth the $20 admission because you got 20 rupees out of it.
I also got a magical boomerang. That was pretty cool.
You got a magical boomerang. I spit on the magical boomerang.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I think my mic died or something. I have no idea what happened there. Do you have had a question or something?
Yeah, we were trying to see what you had in mind when you went to Eastern Palace after doing the Palace of Darkness.
Well, I hadn't checked the pedestal, so I didn't really know what was there, so I was I guess I was gambling in case there would be some there, so I didn't have to, like, backtrack to EP just to clear it. But it turned out to be a complete waste of time. That was dumb.
Yeah, could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty quick dungeon, so...
I mean, I also understand what you saw in it, too. Like, we got bows so early in the seed, and items earlier in the seed are more likely to lead to other items you need. Like, I think it's a totally defensible play, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, in this case, the bow didn't really lead to any items except, well, the pendants, so...
I mean, in my experience, the bow is very often bait used like that, especially for Eastern. Because bow only blocks Armos.
Yeah, and I guess it blocked all of Pod, theoretically, but Pod also didn't pay out, so...
I mean, aside from Pod being a crystal, I don't think there was really much else you could have done with that. Well, where was the point at which... Because I know somebody pulled the pedestal. I think it was Walsh.
Heyo.
Did you just kind of blind pull that and go, sure, why not? I've, done all of the dungeons and I'm here, so sure.
Yeah, basically, I went to Hera before I went to Desert, which, looking back, I wish I hadn't done, because, like, obviously, like, get early book, go to Desert, hey, there's something there. But, yeah, I did Hera, and, like, once I was done with Hera, I was like, okay, I don't want to, like, abandon the crystal, dependent on Moldorm, so I just kind of said, let's just go full hog on this, and yeah, that's kind of how I routed the seed.
Okay, because out of the restreamed runners, you were the only one that went all the way through Tower of Hera. I believe
Nice.
Gus went through Eastern Palace with you as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Just one of those things, I guess. Like, you know, getting like all those simple pendants that early, it's like, but I kind of wish I like, you know, checked more things before I just like, you know, went in on the pedestal. But, you know, it is what it is. The seed happened, and
Yeah,
So
I
that definitely was a seed. I can confirm that.
Absolutely,
very
yeah.
true. Well, you got to be careful. If I'm doing commentary, nonsense and shenanigans are pretty much par for the course of what you're going to end up getting.
Fair enough. I will look out for that. But at least I was able to do the pendants in reverse vanilla order, and then I cleared out the dungeons. I got all the crystals in NMG order, so I was pretty proud of that. That at least I did that for y'all.
All right, so if you don't mind, I think we're about ready to wrap this up. Is there anything you guys would like to say before we end everything here? That maybe we didn't discuss and just want to kind of let loose and have a go at it?
Just want to say thanks to everybody who came in and watched. This was fun to do. Thanks for commentating and the trackers who get not enough credit because they don't talk. But thanks to everybody who did it. We appreciate it a lot.
Yes, thanks to everybody.
Yeah, same. Thanks to the commentators, thanks to the trackers, thanks to the audience. Yeah, this was fun, all things aside.
Yeah, absolutely. And since none of you thanked the runners, I will do that as a collective whole. So thank you, R.D. Walsh, Gus, and Allison for taking the time out of your day to provide entertainment that I was able to do the commentary on. I know Jex Refi has gone off to bigger and better things, saying he had to split out. So on behalf of Jex Refi, I am going to thank the Speed Gaming Network, and I will thank everybody that is in the chat still. I think that's just about everybody, and have a good day, everyone.